Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's Wild Rift video. In this video, we are going to be covering Red Kayn or Rhaast Kayn, whatever way you want to call it. Got some really nice buffs in the most recent patch 3.5a. Because Kayn was a little bit weak on the release in patch 3.5, there was like, yep, let's just buff everything for Kayn. I mean, that's basically what they did. They buffed absolutely everything for Kayn. It's made Red Kayn especially very strong at the moment, especially because in the meta at the moment there's a lot of bruisers, a lot of tanks, so Red Kayn most of the time is a better pick to go in the current meta. There are some situations that I do feel like Shadow Kayn is better if you're against a lot of ranged champions, for example, not a lot of melee champions. It means it will take a long time for you to get red form, so it's just easier to get the blue form anyway. But anyway, let's just quickly talk about the buffs that happened to Kayn. So the base attack damage went up from 66 to 70. This helps his early jungle clear a lot and also helps his early game trading. If he was to get, invaded, if you want to contest a scuttle crab in the early game, that base AD buff is huge for Kayn in the early game. The darkened scythe, so the passive, this is kind of a confusing or complex mechanic they call it, but basically what they've done is they've increased the amount of orbs that you get over time. So that means that you'll be able to get your evolve a lot sooner now, which is great. I mean, obviously the main thing with Kayn in the early game is to try and attack whether it's melee champions for red form or ranged champions for blue form, whatever form you want to go for. It's always important to focus towards that lane. So trying to get your form as soon as possible is the most important thing. So, well, they buffed the time now that you be able to get the form sooner, which means that you'll be able to get the buffs and the changes and everything like that to red form, Kayn, for example, like in this video, a lot sooner. Reaping Slash, the first ability, the bonus AD ratio did go a little bit down in the early game, but now it scales up to 75% of your bonus attack damage. The same with the darkened form as well. With Reaping Slash, this has also been decreased in the early game, but now is increased to 75% in late game. Absolutely great. I mean, this is normally the ability that you max first. That means you're going to benefit the most from that 75% increase now. So before it was 65% at all ranks, but now it's 75% at level 4. So that means that with this build as well, you're building quite a lot of attack damage with like Black Cleaver, Death Stance. So that means that attack damage will mean that your first ability is now going to be dealing a lot of damage, and obviously you heal as well from the Rhaast form, the red form of Kayn. Shadow Step, the third ability, it did get buffed in Shadow Assassin form. The cooldown went down to 8 seconds and the movement speed went up from 65 to 75%. I don't think that makes that much big of a difference for Shadow Assassin. I feel like Shadow Assassin just doesn't do enough damage. When you get far ahead, you just can't really one-shot anyone, which I think is kind of the downside at the moment. The big thing that is though is the ultimate for Kayn. So the Umbral Trespass, the ultimate, the darkened base damage has been increased from 10% of the target's maximum health to 15% of the target's maximum health, and the heal as well has gone from 7% of the target's maximum health to now 10% of the target's maximum health. So really big changes for Kayn and his ultimate. It means it will do more damage in red form, in Rhaast form, and also he'll be able to heal a lot more as well. So great changes for Kayn overall. And as I said, I've always wanted to try out Red Kayn, but I just didn't really feel like Kayn was that strong in patch 3.5. But as soon as these buffs came out, I was like, yep, this is my time, because Kayn was one of my best champions, one of my favorite champions in the jungle in PC League of Legends. So I was like, now's the time to give him a try. I'm going to show you all the best build and the rune setups and the spells. For the build, I don't really like to go for Divine Sunder because I don't feel like you're auto attacking that much, and I feel like in red form most of the time you would be getting a lot of healing anyway from using your abilities. So I like to go for this sort of kind of hybrid build where you're building a little bit bruiser, also a little bit of tankiness. Black Cleaver is the first item, is absolutely great for Kayn. Not only is it a cheap item, so you'll be able to get this pretty much 100% of the time before that first dragon, but it also gives you a bunch of great stats: health, attack damage, ability haste, all absolutely great for Kayn. Sunder passive, meaning that you'll be able to shred armor on enemy champions every single time you deal physical damage. And you also have the rage passive, which means you'll be able to get extra movement speed as well. So that means you can chase towards the enemy champions, keep dealing damage, keep using your abilities, and especially in the early game with Black Cleaver, it means you'll be able to get your orbs a lot quicker as well, because that means you'll be able to deal a lot more physical damage, which means that you'll be able to deal get more orbs, and that also means that you'll be able to get the extra movement speed, so you can keep chasing, keep dealing damage, and keep generating orbs as much as possible. For the second item, we have Death Stance, another item that's really strong for Kayn. Attack damage, armor, and ability haste. It doesn't give us health, but it does give us armor. I think in the meta at the moment, because there are so many AD bruisers in the game, I still think that this is a very strong item. If you're against a lot of AP damage, you can go for something like Spirit Visage as a second item if you want to, or you can go for something like more of Malmortius if you want to, if you don't go for Steric's Gauge. You have the Cauterize passive, which 35% of physical damage is taken over time as true damage, and then a Dance passive as well, which means it will cleanse all of Cauterize's damage and instead restoring 10% of your maximum health over 2 seconds. That means that you'll be able to heal every single time you get a takedown, and with Kayn, with Rhaast Kayn already, you're healing a lot from all of your abilities, your auto attacks, and also your ultimate. So more healing means that you'll be able to stay alive a lot longer. Obviously, this is a lot different to Blue Assassin game. This is Kayn. This is more about being a tank, being a bruiser, being in the front line, and crowd controlling and dealing as much damage as possible. For the boots, most of the time I go defensive boots, either armor or magic resist boots. Both of them are very good. And then you can go for gargle stone plate with the big massive buff on the shield, because most of the time when you're going in and you're trying to knock up everyone, most of the time you're going to have 3 or more champions around you. That means your shield will be even bigger than by itself. Steric's Gauge as well, huge massive amount of health, which will make you a little bit tankier. You have the heavy-handed passive, which will give you plus 50% base attack damage, also the lifeline passive. So when you do drop low on health, you will be able to get that shield, which is equal to 75% of your bonus health, and it will also increase the size, and gives you tenacity as well. And tenacity is basically any sort of crowd control that comes towards you will be reduced. And then I like to go for a little bit more tankiness. Obviously, anti-heal is really important at the moment. You can swap out Thornmail for Mortal Reminder if you want to. I think either one of these two are really good, but as I said, with Rhaast Kayn, you're more of a bruiser or a tank, so I do like to go for Thornmail more. But Mortal Reminder is also very good, because you deal a lot of physical damage. You do a lot of AoE physical damage as well with your first ability, which means that you can proc grievous wounds on multiple allies. But it just depends. If you're ahead, then I would say go Mortal Reminder, but if you're still behind, or if the game's pretty even, I would go for Thornmail instead, because it gives you a bit more tankiness as well. And then for your final item, you have a Spirit Visage. Obviously with Rhaast Kayn, you'll be healing a lot because of the passive of Rhaast Kayn, and this item, Spirit Visage, increases all healing effects on you by 30%. So that means all that healing that you have with Rhaast Kayn will all be increased from Spirit Visage. Obviously you have health regen, magic resist, ability haste, and maximum health, so it's a very good tank item. If you do need more armor though, Randuin's Omen is very good, because it reduces the damage from critical strikes and also reduces the attack speed of enemies by 15% for a few seconds when struck by an attack. Other than that, there's not really any other items that you could go for in terms of tanky items. I feel like I think most of the other tank items are kind of meh. Like, you don't really need that much movement speed, so Dead Man's Plate and Force of Nature is not really too bad, but it's like kind of meh. Abyssal Mask you don't really need unless you have a lot of AP damage on the team. Warmogs is kind of mess. So I think that these are kind of the base items that you can go. Again, depending if you're against a lot of AP damage or AD damage, will kind of depend on the flexibility of the build. Conqueror, I think there's no surprise with this rune. Gives us more AD every single time we gain a stack, and it also gives us the Omnivamp when we reach full stacks as well. With Kayn, it's very easy to get stacks. You just dash in with your first ability, you have your second ability, you have your auto attacks in between, your ultimate as well. So it's easily being able, you can easily stack Conqueror, which means you'll get the bonus AD and also the Omnivamp when it's fully stacked. Triumph as well. I did try Sudden Impact a little bit. I don't think it's that important on Rhaast Kayn. I think Triumph just dealing more damage when enemies are low on health is quite important. Also the healing as well. You can maybe go for Hunter Vampirism if you want to, for even more physical vamp, which means you'll be healing some more. That is also not a bad choice. Again, Sudden Impact is not too bad, or Triumph. Any one of these runes are completely fine. Same with the next rune as well. Again, flexibility is always the key. I like to go for Bone Plating most of the time, because Kayn can be a little bit squishy, especially in the early game when you're trying to trade, and this will help you a lot when trying to generate orbs in the early game, because when you walk up and when you try and trade and try and deal damage to the melee champions to try and get red form, if they try and deal damage back, then you've got Bone Plate in there to protect you. But Hunter Titan is very good against crowd control. You can also go for, you know, Nullifying Orb if you want to, but we don't really build a lot of AD, so it's not really too great. So I think either Bone Plating or Hunter Titan, any one of these two are great. And then for the final rune, we have Hunter Genius. This could be swapped out for Nimbus Cloak if you feel like you need the extra movement movement speed, but I think the extra movement speed that you get from your third ability is normally enough. So I like to go for Hunter Genius so we can use our abilities more often because we get that ability haste. And then for summer spells we have Flash, and obviously we have Smite. So yeah, really enjoying Kayn at the moment in the current meta. I think red Kayn is very strong. I haven't tried out Shadow Assassin Kayn yet with the Shadow Step changes, but I do feel like red Kayn got buffed a lot more than blue Kayn, and I really enjoyed playing red Kayn. So hopefully you enjoy as well. Enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you in the next Wild Rift video. Peace. Darky also 8 years ago. My god, why people created their account 8 years ago? Why is 8 years ago so popular? I don't get it. Why is 8 years ago so popular? 7 years ago for Baron? 3 years ago? Right, where's the melee champions? Akali, Garen, Dine. I mean, everyone's pretty much melee. That's pretty nice. Sorry, I went into the wrong lane.
How foolish. I learned from a young age to embrace the shadow.
Ready for this insane full clear speed Kayn?
I have chosen you. You will serve me.
You can clear speed with Kayn so fast. I love it. 3 years ago, 1 year ago. You're all slacking.
I alone am the remedy. To die? Yes. Here we go.
Let it loose.
Darkened blade. I have chosen you.
Well, that's unlucky. My red buff got stolen. I mean blue buff, sorry. Whoops.
I learned from a young age to embrace the shadows.
Darkness is a start.
First blood.
The rage is in your hands. Let it loose.
Bottom turret is under attack.
Underestimate.
Okay, that worked. Unfortunately, I'm closer to my range form now than melee because I ganked bot lane, but fine. I can just focus bot side now.
Danger.
Here we go.
I feel like the rage is in your hands. Let it loose.
I learned from a young age to embrace the shadows.
Darkness is a start.
Fear this.
Gale
Okay, not bad, not bad.
I learned from a young age to embrace the shadows.
Darkness is a start.
On my way.
Here we go.
I do like this.
I have chosen you. You
The
will
enemy
serve
team has
me.
slain the Rift Herald.
Shadows cut deepest feet.
Nice.
Spree.
Underestimate me at your peril. Here we go.
I do like this. The rage is in your hands. Let it loose.
Ally slain. Enemy slain.
Definitely feels like I do get my form sooner. Even though I did gank and get a lot of... oh, God.
Here we go. I alone am ready.
Okay, unfortunately, though...
I learned from a young age to embrace the shadows.
Darkness is a start.
This.
I entered. Fuck. I didn't realize they were all still there. My bad. I didn't realize they were all still there. That's my mistake. I shouldn't be there. Oh, I have blue form, but I don't have red form. So sad.
On my way.
Fine, I just need to wait a little bit longer and I'll get red form. No, I do not want to walk over that.
You will serve me.
Need to wait a little bit more and I'll get red form. It's because I've been focusing bot lane so much this game. Which is kind of my own fault, to be honest. I should not be focusing bot lane. There we go. Now we got red form. That's all it needed. Go back, get Death Stance, and get red form. I do need magic resist though this game. They got double AP.
Your peril.
So I'm probably going to go Spirit Visage. Second item. Because they have Rakan, Akali, and Diana. Like, they have 3 AP threats.
My plan, Rhaast. Simple.
Close. Fine. Use that pressure to get mid lane tower. Yeah, that's good. I'm just going to go back and farm for now.
I am the undoing.
I can't believe I inted my death. That's so sad. Actually, if I didn't int my death, it would have been a really good game. Or a really good early game, at least. Still a good game.
Bring on the weak and the strong.
Looks okay. Oh, it looks really good, actually. Nice. Actually looks really good.
I do like this trick.
The Soul's drop rate is definitely a lot higher now. It's like the passive change that they did was very, very good for this champ. Because now you get your evolve so much sooner. Now you get your evolve so much sooner. It's really nice.
The shadows have a new master.
Corky is a mad lad. This Corky is an absolute mad lad.
Retreat from the enemy turret.
But he's doing well, so.
Turret lost.
That weapon.
Your team has slain the dragon.
Okay.
Enemy turret.
Okay, Kayn's feeling kind of strong now. Kayn's feeling kind of strong. My Q got cancelled. Unlucky. My bad. I think I should have waited a little bit. I probably should have waited a little bit, but I went too greedy underneath the tower. My fault. My bad, my bad. God is in my way. My power tripped, I blame Stu. Why would you blame me for? What have I done to be blamed for this?
Have a new master.
Guys, this does not look good.
Killing
My plan.
Actually, maybe it's okay.
double kill. Enemy killing spree. Slain. Shut down. Shut down.
Bring on the weak and the strong. All will die.
I just realized the collie had a shutdown. Go back and get BS sword for my Sterix gauge. I got a lot of gold this game. My top laner still doesn't have boots. Renekton. Brother. Boots. Why does Renekton not have boots?
My plan. Simple.
Let's go Drake. Where's Divine Sunderer? I don't think Divine Sunderer is good on Kayn. I don't think you auto attack that much.
From the enemy champion.
I'd just much rather go full tank.
Enemy slain. On my way. Double kill. Slain.
Yeah, I don't know, like, Dragon's up in 30 seconds. I don't know why we're not.
Spree.
We should really be going Dragon.
Master.
Slain an enemy. Shut down.
Your failure mocks this world.
On my way. On my way.
Can grab this, get 3 Drakes.
The shadows have a new master.
Woo! I need minions! Woo! Woohoo! Okay! Oh my god, Kayn actually feels good! Let's go! Kayn actually feels pretty damn good! Holy shit, Red Kayn is so much stronger. Red Kayn is so much stronger. Love this champ. MVP performance, 9, 2, and 12 in the end. And it's only because I inted twice. I kind of inted twice. I limit tested twice. And I think that's the only 2 times I died. Other than that, it was a really, really good game. Most gold in the game. Nearly most kills on my team. Most assists. Or nearly most assists. 26,000 damage though. As Red Kayn, 26,000 damage is quite a lot. Like for tank Kayn, with this build, I'm actually quite surprised how much damage I did. It was really good though. GG's, GG's.